Well, the third pioneer is Ted Nelson. And Ted went to Swarthmore, graduated in 1959. He was a philosophy major. He went off, he took a computer course at Harvard, and he found them intriguing. So he had read Vannevar Bush's article when he was a kid. Doug Engelbart had also read it when he was stationed somewhere in the Navy. And that was an inspiration. And in 1963 in Miami, Ted said he coined the word hypertext. And this is the first published paper in 1965. And that's the first published use of the word hypertext. And these are some of the drawings in that original paper, and they look like the drawings that we all do of hypertext now. Well, Ted has invented lots of words besides hypertext and hypermedia. All of these words, docuverse, which I think is really important because that was his view of what we were trying to create, a universe of documents. If you want more info, he wrote a great book called Computer Lib. Actually, it was 2 books. If you turned it upside down and turned it around, on the other side, you got that book, and then Literary Machines was more about, in detail about the docuverse in Xanadu. And this was my favorite coinage and kind of the philosophy of the whole thing. Everything is deeply intertwingled. So how did hypertext get to Brown, and how did we end up with a 4th pioneer? Well, that's not Brown, that's Swarthmore, and not only did Ted go to Swarthmore, but Andy went to Swarthmore. And he graduated a year after Ted, but he knew Ted from his freshman week. They had a chance meeting at a conference, I believe in 1967, and Ted told Andy about all of these ideas he had, and Andy said, wow, that's really interesting. I have this graphics computer, and I have all these undergraduate and graduate programmers, and I think it would be way more edifying for them to build a system than to sleep at night. So that's how hypertext got to Brown. Ted came, Andy came, and many of you did not sleep.
That the initial visioning thing, that when Ted started talking about the docuverse and everything, his descriptions of it, which I don't have time to read, though I was going to, mimic exactly what we now know as, the hypertext universe that we live in. Almost every element of it. What you see up here and what you're going to hear after this is all the technical details that it took to get there. This is from a 1966 memo, proposal of the Xanadu system that Ted did. And all of the elements that you see in here, and undo, multiple screens, all the linking, indexing, and stuff like that. All of the elements that we have now were envisioned back then before any of this existed. But I guess the second cautionary thing that I will leave you with before this is just to understand that Ted, with everything that he has visioned, he is deeply upset with the fact that where this has led to is the World Wide Web. Is that what we have right now is we're still blind men in Ted's universe, and there are still many multi-dimensions that are still for us to be defined and to find out later. And